The stars were cold. The war was colder. Captain Rian Hale floated inside his damaged ship. Sparks flew from broken panels. Warning lights flashed red. Oxygen was dropping. His right eye was blind, but his mind was still sharp. His fingers moved slowly across the cracked control panel. "This is Captain Rian Hale of the Earth's 9th Marine Fleet. I'm alive, ... repeating ... I'm alive." The message sent a weak signal. One chance ... outside. Space was silent. Only the wreckage of war drifted, broken ships, burnt metal, frozen bodies. The Galactic Alliance had retreated hours ago. They had left him behind. 6 hours earlier, the humans were fighting alongside the Galactic Alliance's many alien races, all united against a new threat, the Varnock swarm. The Varnock were fast, insect-like, and cruel. 3 colony worlds. Captain Rian led the front assault on Moon 73. Deep in Varnock space, it was a trap. Varnock warships came from the shadows. Hundreds of them. The sky turned red with lasers and flames. Ships exploded one after another. "Fall back, fall back," the Alliance commanders ordered. But Rian's unit was pinned down. Rian shouted over COMMs. But no answer came. Minutes later, a shockwave hit his ship. A Varnock missile tore through the hull. He saw his crew die one by one. His co-pilot screamed, then vanished in flames. Rian blacked out. Now he opened his eyes. Again, the ship was broken. Gravity was off. Silence all around. Rian floated in zero-G pain shooting through his body. He checked the systems. No power, no weapons. Only 3% oxygen left. "Great," he muttered, his voice weak. He opened the storage locker. One emergency kit, a flare, a small ration pack, a knife. He didn't expect to survive, but Earth never gave up, and neither did he. The other side of the galaxy, in the floating city of Solara Prime, leaders of the Galactic Alliance met. Ambassador Trell, a tall, lizard-like being, stood before the council. "We lost Moon 73. Casualties, 800, including one human captain, named," asked a blue-skinned diplomat, "Rian Hale." They all nodded slowly. "Unfortunate, but necessary," Trell said coldly. "We could not risk more lives for one man. The humans will understand." A silence followed. One alien chuckled. "Humans are soft. They follow rules. They won't care." Another added, "Earth will mourn, then forget." They moved to the next topic, but Earth did not forget thousands of light years away. In Earth's orbit, Admiral Layla Ward sat in her command chair. She was reviewing battle data. Suddenly, an officer ran in. "Ma'am, we found something. A signal. Weak. ... But it's him." Layla's eyes widened. "Put it on." The screen flickered. Static. Then a voice, barely a whisper. "This is Captain Rian Hale. I'm alive. ... repeating. ... I'm alive. Prepare a rescue," said the officer. "That sector is closed. The Alliance has declared it lost." Layla's voice turned ice cold. "We don't follow their orders." "That's a human out there." She turned toward the star map. "Prepare the warships. We're bringing him home." Back in the Voidrian's breath slowed. Cold filled his bones. The stars outside didn't blink. Space was eternal. But Rian's time, it was running out. He looked at the Earth patch on his torn uniform. "Don't let me die out here, ... he whispered. Then everything went dark. The Galactic Council Hall was shining with silver and glass. Giant screens floated in the air, showing battles, maps, and losses. Dozens of alien leaders sat in a circle, some with scales, others with fur horns or glowing eyes. Ambassador Trell of the Threxian Empire stood up. "We have confirmed the death of Captain Rian Hale," he announced. "The humans have lost another soldier in battle." No one looked sad. No one even paused. "His body?" asked a green-eyed diplomat from Zyrian, "Lost in space," Trell said. "No recovery possible. His ship was destroyed." "The battlefield is controlled by the Varnock now. Not worth risking more." The council nodded. "The humans will not complain," Trell added. "They are emotional, ... but weak. They will cry, then forget." Laughter echoed in the hall. Cold, heartless laughter. But Earth did not forget thousands of light years away. Earth's military base, Iron Sky, floated above the blue planet. Inside the command center, Admiral Layla Ward stared at the screen. A tiny red dot blinked near the Edge of known space, signal origin. Moon 73, signal source, human ID. Captain Rian, hail status, Elivitha room, was silent. Everyone waited for the Admiral to speak. How strong is the signal? She asked. Very weak, ma'am, the officer replied, fading fast, likely sent from damaged systems, maybe just an escape pod or broken fighter. Layla clenched her jaw. He's alive, she whispered. Earth's Ansaran emergency meeting was held at Earth's United Command. Generals, scientists, and political leaders gathered. Some spoke carefully. We can't act alone. The Alliance banned access to that sector. It could start a war. But Layla stood and silenced the room. We sent him there. He trusted us, and now he's been left behind, like garbage. She slammed her hand on the table. Earth does not leave its people to die. One old general nodded. What's your plan? Layla took a deep breath. Her eyes burned with fire. Operation Iron Reclaim, 3 warships, silent entry, rescue, mission. And if we're caught? Someone asked. She looked around. Then we remind the galaxy who we are. Meanwhile, on the Council World Ambassador Trell leaned back in his seat, sipping a glowing drink. He watched the stars outside. A human dies. The galaxy moves on, he said to himself. A small robotic assistant hovered beside him. Should I send a sympathy message to Earth? Trell chuckled. No need. They'll hold a funeral, say some sad words, then replace him. But far above, unknown to Trell, Earth's stealth warships had already left orbit. The humans weren't preparing for a funeral. They were preparing for a reckoning. Inside the warship, Vengeance Commander Zara Nox checked the final systems. Her ship, Vengeance, was one of Earth's deadliest vessels, fast cloaked and loaded with plasma cannons. Next to her, 2 more ships were ready, Justice and Eco-9. The mission was clear. No contact with the Council. Avoid detection. Find Rian Hale. Bring him home. Zara looked at her crew. People think Earth is soft, she said. They think we move slow, cry quietly, and forget easily. She paused, then smiled coldly. Let's prove them wrong. On the edge of death, Captain Rian, Hale still breathed. Barely he was inside the ruins of his small escape pod, now burnt walls, broken glass, and freezing air. He had managed to crawl into it after his main ship failed completely. Days had passed. He didn't know how many. Time moved strange in the dark. He had cut off part of his uniform and tied it around his bleeding leg. His body hurt, but he was awake, barely. Come on, Earth, hear me, The emergency beacon each time. The light flickered weaker, each time. His hope faded. But then, far away. Inside the bridge of the warship Vengeance, a sound beeped. Captain. Signal update, said the sensor officer. It's real. Human signature confirmed. Commander Zara jumped to her feet. Set course for Moon 73. Maximum stealth. Prepare medbay and recovery team. The space was dark and quiet. 2 quiet 3 Earth warships moved like shadows between dead moons and broken satellites. No lights, no sounds. Engines ran on silent mode. No signals were sent. They were hunting one signal. Captain Rian Hale, commander. Zara Nox stood on the bridge of the lead ship, Vengeance. Her face was cold, her eyes locked on the screen. We're close, her sensor officer whispered. Signal is coming from the surface of Moon 73. Zara nodded. Send out the drones, search everything, stay cloaked, no mistakes. On Moon 73, the surface of the moon was dead. Dust floated slowly in low gravity. Rocks, ruins, and old war debris covered the land. The Varnock had left after the battle, taking their wounded and leaving the battlefield to rot. But someone was still alive. Rian Hale dragged himself through a narrow canyon. His uniform was torn. Blood covered his face. He had built a shelter, using broken metal and alien scrap. Every breath was pain. He had not eaten in 2 days. He had 1 flare left, but he kept whispering, Earth will come. They never leave us. Suddenly, he heard a sound. A soft, mechanical buzz. Not Varnock, not wild animals. Something, human. He looked up and saw a small black drone hovering silently above him. A blue light blinked. Then it spoke in a soft voice. Captain Rian Hale. Identity confirmed. Rescue inbound. Rian laughed. A weak, broken laugh. They came, They really came. Above the moon, the Vengeance locked onto Rion's location. "Launch recovery team," Zara ordered. "He's alive. Get him now." A small shuttle dropped from the warship and landed near Rion's shelter. 4 Marines ran out in black armor. One of them knelt beside him, Captain Hale. "We've got you," Rion could barely speak. "Took your time," he joked. The soldier smiled. "Let's get you home." Meanwhile, Varnock scouts arrive, but nothing ever goes as planned. From the edge of the system to Varnock, ships appeared, doled patrol cruisers returning to check the battlefield inside. The Varnock crew saw something strange. Unidentified ships detected, one said in their strange clicking language, "human signatures. They're back." They sent a signal to the Galactic Alliance. Earth's response: no more silence. Commander Zara saw the Varnock ships appear on her screen. Her face turned serious. "Cloak off," she said. "Weapons live." Her second officer blinked. "Ma'am, we were told not to engage." Zara cut him off. "They left Rion here to die. Earth doesn't forget. They need a message." She pressed the command screen. "Fire." The Sky Burns Vengeance fired 2 plasma torpedoes. Justice followed with a railgun burst. Echo 9 launched EMP charges. In less than 60 seconds, both Varnock ships were torn apart. One exploded in blue flames. The other spun out of control and shattered. Against the moon's surface, there were no survivors, but there were witnesses. The Alliance, patrol beacons nearby, picked up the battle. They recorded the weapons, the human ship IDs, and the message that followed. "This is Earth's command. We have recovered our soldier. He was left to die. We do not forget. We do not forgive." The message spread fast, all across the galaxy. On the Council, World Ambassador Trell stared at the screen, his claws shaking. Double quotes, "They ... attacked." A Council aide whispered, "They rescued the human. They destroyed 2 ships." The message is spreading on every system. The laughter from last time was gone. Now there was silence. "Fear. Humans are not following orders," Trell said softly. Another Council member whispered, "They never forget. ... do they?" Back aboard the Vengeance, Captain Rion lay in the medbay. Machines scanned his body. Medics worked fast. Admiral Layla appeared on the screen. "Rian ... you did good." He smiled weakly, took a nap in a war zone. "No big deal." Layla's voice turned firm. "We're not done. The ones who left you there, we're going to make sure they remember this." Captain Rion Hale lay still in the medbay of the Earth warship Vengeance. Tubes ran into his arms. Scars covered his chest and face. Machines beeped around him. Doctors whispered quietly, but his eyes were open and burning with fire. 2 days after, the rescuerian was awake, but weak. His body was broken, his leg damaged, 2 ribs cracked, and his right eye permanently blind. But he didn't care about pain. He only cared about why he had been left behind. "Give me a report," he said to the AI nurse. Captain Rion Hale, rescued after 11 days. No contact from the Galactic Council. No apology, no explanation. He stared at the ceiling, jaw tight. "They left me to die, and now they pretend nothing happened." He sat up, groaning from pain. "I won't let this go." Zara Knox pays a visit. "Commander." Zara entered the medbay. "You should be resting," she said. Rion smiled slightly. "You came all this way. Thought I should be polite." Zara pulled up a chair. "We got you out. But the galaxy is ... talking. The Council is angry. They're calling our mission a violation." "They left me," Rion said coldly. "That wasn't a violation," Zara sighed. "The Council doesn't see humans as equal. We've always been the junior species. The new ones, they think, will obey quietly. Then it's time they saw who we really are." A message from Earth hours later. Admiral Layla Ward appeared on Rion's room screen. "Captain," she said, "you've become the center of something big." "I didn't ask for that." "I know, but people are listening. Soldiers across Earth's colonies are angry. Civilians are marching. They're calling you the ghost left behind." Rion shook his head. "I'm no hero. I just didn't die fast enough." Layla leaned forward. "We don't need a perfect hero. We need a voice." She paused, then added, "Are you strong enough to speak?" Broadcast to the galaxy the next day. Rian Hale stood barely inside the Vengeance's small room. His uniform was repaired. His leg had a support brace. A black patch covered his damaged eye. The cameras turned on. He looked straight into the lens. "This is Captain Rian Hale. I served with the Galactic Alliance. I followed orders. I fought for peace." His voice was calm, but Hard-Eye was wounded in battle. "My ship destroyed. I sent distress signals. I waited. No one came. The Alliance left me to die." He let the silence sit. Let the galaxy listen. But Earth didn't forget. They came for me. They always will. He leaned forward. "To every human out there, never trust those who leave their own behind. And to every council member watching this, Earth is awake now. You should be afraid." He ended the message. The reaction across space. The message spread like wildfire in Earth colonies. Soldiers stood at attention as the speech played. Miners on Mars cheered. Engineers on Titan cried. Even old veterans saluted. On alien worlds, many were silent. Some laughed, but some ... looked nervous, and on the Galactic Council's homeworld, fear returned. Ambassador Trell slammed his fist on the table. "We must stop this human madness." But others hesitated. "Came back for one man," someone whispered. Would we do the same? Meanwhile, Varnak plot in shadows deep, in a hidden part of space. The insect-like Varnak watched the human message. A tall, black-armored Varnak leader clicked in its own language. This one was supposed to die. He lived. Another hissed. "He has power now. A voice." "Then we must silence him permanently." A plan was born. Captain Rian Hale had become a symbol. His speech had reached millions of soldiers, workers, colonists, and outcasts. People called him the Forgotten Flame. His story sparked something powerful in the hearts of humans across the stars. But not everyone was inspired. Some were afraid, and others ... wanted him gone. Inside the council chambers on the shining capital world of Lurex Prime, the Galactic Council met in secret. Tall chairs circled a black table. The room was cold and full of tension. Ambassador Trelleth of the Threxian Empire slammed his clawed hand on the table. "This human has made us look weak." Others agreed. "He questions the Council's honor. He spreads fire among their kind." "Rebellion could follow," Trell hissed. "He must be silenced, officially, or ... not." An old alien general spoke carefully. "We can't attack Earth. Too risky." Terrell leaned forward. His voice was low and cruel. "Then we don't attack Earth. We just remove him." A deadly plan that same night. A message was sent from Lurex Prime to the shadowy parts of the galaxy. Target, Rian Hale. Mission: eliminate without trace. Reward, 10 million credits. The message reached many, but one group answered instantly: the Shrouds, silent killers from the dark moons of Ravis Prime. No faces, no names, only results. Their reply was cold: accepted. Meanwhile, aboard the Vengeance, Rian Hale had started walking again. His leg was still stiff, but his spirit was strong. He stood in the ship's small gym, pushing through pain. Sweat poured down his face. Commander Zara Knox watched from a distance. "You don't rest much, do you?" she said. He shook his head. "Rest later. Fight now. You're not the same man we pulled from that moon." Rian looked at her. "That man was left behind. I'm what came back." An unexpected signalator in the comms room. The ship picked up a strange signal, small, encrypted, bouncing through relay stations. Zara frowned. "It's not ours, not Council either. Looks ... criminal." She tapped a few keys. The message became clear. Assassins inbound. Multiple targets. Primary Rian Hale. Her face went cold. "Get him," she ordered. "Attack in the shadows." That night, the Vengeance rested in orbit above a neutral station to refuel. Earth had no idea the Council's hit was already on the way. Inside the quiet halls of the ship, lights flickered. A vent cover slid open. 3 black shapes dropped down, silent as ghosts. They moved fast straight toward Rian's room. One carried a poison blade. Another held a silencer blaster. The third was pure muscle. They opened his door. But Rian wasn't sleeping. He was waiting. The Marine fights back. The first assassin moved in fast, deadly, but Rian grabbed a metal bar and swung. It cracked the killer's helmet, sending him crashing into the wall. The second fired. Rian rolled, grabbing the dead assassin's blade. He stabbed forward. A scream echoed, then the third came. Huge, strong. He lifted Rian and slammed him into the floor. Pain shot through Rian's body. His ribs burned, but he fought. He pulled a hidden blade from his boot and jammed it into the attacker's throat. All three assassins dropped. Rian coughed, bleeding. Then he heard alarms. Commander Zara and 2 guards rushed in. What happened? Rian sat up barely. They came to silence me. The message spreads again. News of the attack could not be hidden. Soon, Earth channels, colonies, and war zones played the footage. Rian Hale fighting off trained killers, alone, wounded, tired, but unbroken. The title was everywhere. They tried to kill him. He fought back. People were furious. Riots broke out on mining colonies. Earth's president gave a speech. This was not just an attack on a soldier. It was an attack on all of us. We will answer. In the council hall, Ambassador Trell watched the chaos unfold. His plan had failed. Now he's even stronger. One counselor said bitterly. Another whispered, Earth may declare war. Trell said nothing, but his eyes burned with hate. The attack on Captain Rian Hale had failed, but the message was clear. The Galactic Council didn't want him alive. Earth had stayed quiet for years. It followed rules, paid taxes, sent soldiers to fight the Council's wars. But now the silence was over. Earth's response, President Ala Grant, stood before the United Earth Assembly. Billions watched her across every colony, every ship, every screen. She spoke with a calm voice, but her words hit like fire. Captain Rian Hale was abandoned by the Galactic Council. Then they tried to kill him. Earth did not start this war, but we will finish it. Thunderous cheers shook every city. The war drums had started. Project Retribution begins 3 days later. Deep inside a hidden Earth station called Black Forge, the military prepared something old and something dangerous. Rian Hale stood beside Commander Zara as massive hangar. Doors opened. Inside was a fleet. Warships once considered too aggressive, too dangerous, too human. Zara nodded. Project Retribution, banned by the Council, hidden for 10 years. Rian's eyes burned with purpose. Not banned anymore. Targets chosen. The list was ready. These were the names. Rian had received the people who made the order to leave him behind. High Commander Jorvik Varnock, General Kythrex Threxian, Admiral Valnur, Zarnan Alliance, and others. Not everyone in the galaxy is guilty, Zara said. We'll hit only those responsible. Rian replied, We don't need war with everyone, just justice. They called it Operation Silent Thunder. The first Strykrian ship, the Revenant, jumped into orbit over Deltanine, where High Commander Jorvik was hiding. No warnings, no broadcast, only thunder. The Revenant dropped like a blade from the stars. In 30 seconds, it destroyed every defense drone, hacked the base shields, and deployed shock troopers. Rian led the charge himself. Jorvik tried to run, but Rian caught him. You left me to die, he growled. I followed orders. Rian stared coldly. You followed fear. The screen went black. Galactic Council in chaos. News of Jorvik's execution spread fast. Faster than the Council could spin lies. Ambassador Trell shouted in a closed meeting. They're assassinating our leaders, another ambassador whispered. The humans said this was justice, not war. Don't be fooled. Earth is showing its true nature. But fear was growing. Not just fear of Earth, fear of Rian Hale. The people speak while the Council argued. Something unexpected happened. Aliens on neutral worlds began to agree with Earth. A Zarnan journalist posted, They left a soldier to die, and now they cry. When justice returns, a Threxian pilot refused to fly. A Varnak ambassador quit. Earth was no longer alone in its anger. Second strike, the signal world next, was General Kythrex, living in comfort on a luxury moon. The Revenant arrived silently. Rian gave a warning this time, a broadcast. This is not war. This is justice. Step outside. Face what you did. Kythrex refused. He called for guards. They never made it. Rian's team struck fast. No civilians harmed. Just one target, eliminated. And one message left behind, we do not forget. We do not forgive. Earth's forces mobilize. Earth's military began calling veterans back into service. Old warships lit up their engines again. Colonial fleets returned to Seoul for formation. Humans no longer waited for approval. They were ready to act. But even as weapons were sharpened, Rian had another idea. A message to the galaxy. He stood again before a camera. This time, the whole galaxy was watching. "This is not about revenge. This is about honor," he said. "We're left behind. We were called too emotional, too violent, too human. But we remember our own. We fight for our own." He paused. "To those in the council who still have honor, stand with us, or step aside." The stars were watching. The galactic council was breaking, and Earth, once quiet and obedient, had become a storm. At the heart of it all stood one man, Captain Rian Hale, the soldier they left behind. Divided council, rising Earth on Lurex Prime. The council hall was no longer united. Half the seats were empty. Others stood divided. Some angry, some silent, and a few afraid. Ambassador Trell roared across the room. "We must crush Earth now before they strike again." A soft voice answered from the shadows. "And if they don't stop..." Everyone turned. It was Counselor Belvin of the Myrians, a peaceful species. They took out only those who betrayed them. No planets burned, no civilians harmed. Trell slammed his fist. "You think they'll stop there?" Counselor Belvin whispered. "Maybe. And leave us all behind." Rian's final mission aboard, the Earth warship Revenant. Rian stood in full black combat gear. His eye patch glinted under the lights. His face was calm. Zara Nox handed him the last data chip, the final name. "She," said Admiral Velnur. "She gave the final order to abandon me," Rian said. Zara hesitated. "She's hiding on council space. Direct strike could cause all-out war." Rian nodded slowly. "Then I won't bring a fleet." Into the heart of the Beastrian took a stealth ship alone. No backup, no weapons of mass destruction. Just him and a dark uniform. He entered council territory, passed patrols, slipped past scanners, landed on Lurex Prime. No alarms sounded, because no one believed he'd come here alone. The final confrontation inside a hidden mansion. Admiral Velnur was drinking fine wine. Watching the news, her face was proud. Cold, unmoved, until the lights flickered and Rian Hale walked into the room. She froze. "You should be dead." Rian didn't smile. He just stared. "You gave the kill order." Velnur stood tall. "I followed protocol. You were a lost asset, not worth the rescue." "You were wrong," she sneered. "You humans are full of fire. But fire burns out. The council will win." Rian stepped closer. "No, the council has already lost." He handed her a small device, a live transmission. The entire council hall watching, and billions more. Velnur paled. "Tell them," Rian said. "Tell them the truth." The confession. Velnur tried to run. Rian raised his blaster not to kill, but to stop. She fell to her knees, shaking. I gave the order. I said to leave him. I said humanity was not worth the risk." Her voice echoed across the galaxy. Rian leaned into the camera. "Now you see. We were never weak. We were never small. We were just patient." Earth ascends the day after the broadcast. Something changed forever. World after world sent messages to Earth. "We support your leadership. We ask to join your alliance. Let the humans guide the new age." The Galactic Council didn't fall. It was replaced by something new, a coalition led by Earth, a union that remembered loyalty, honor, and sacrifice. And at its center, Captain Rian Hale, a peace built on fire 10 years later. Children in colonies learn about the forgotten Marine. Statues of Rian Hale stand on Mars, Europa, and even peaceful alien worlds. The Council archives show only one sentence. They left one human behind, and he changed the galaxy. Final scene, Rian's last words, in a small garden on Luna, old but strong. Rian sits quietly. Zara Nox walks beside him. "People still talk about that day," she says, "how you made the galaxy kneel." Rian smiles. Softly, "I didn't make them kneel. I made them listen." A young cadet walks up. "Sir, do you have one message for the next generation?" Rian looks at the stars. "Never forget your own. And if the stars turn cold, be the fire that warms. The dark